Now, obviously, what I'm saying, you represent the town, but you spent, I don't know, as many years, or you definitely represent, Leimert Park in the Crenshaw area. So give me your thoughts on Nipsey and just that, what that the experience of Nipsey leaves you with.
Well, you know, I wish that I could move on a little
Sure.
bit more, but since I drive past the crime scene almost every day, it's hard to move on. It's hard not to look over. It's hard not to hurt. I've since met his mother and his grandmother and his brother and his sister and some of his business partners and stuff like this. And I had a chance to meet him once when he was doing this video called Hustle in the House. It shot right around the corner on Brynhurst from where I'm at, and over here in the 60s, as they call it. And I just, I just think it's a shame that we lost a leader like that, but we always do. Anybody that inspires Black folks always gets mowed down, from Fred Hampton on up. And, that was another Oakland connection. Nipsey, I think if he had to leave, if we had to nail a legacy on him, it would be to, become entrepreneurs, especially look at what has happened with the pandemic. You're a television producer now. I'm a television producer now. Everybody got a show doing all kinds of things. And I think that, he would inspire people to try to run your own thing and own your own thing and not have to eventually work for anybody. The Black dollar is very strong. And if we put it back into our community, since nobody else give a shit about us, look at Oakland. Downtown Oakland is flourishing and skyscrapers and all that. East Oakland looked like a bomb got dropped on it. Like nobody gives a shit anymore. And that's sort of how people felt about the Crenshaw district. But it's not that way anymore. There's a train coming through it, which, I'm not really crazy about that, but property values are going up. And I think there's more people starting Black businesses, especially over in the Leimert Park area. That's, mostly all Black businesses. And you can go there to eat or shop or buy or get books or music or trinkets or anything like that. So I think that, it's very hard to move past the incident. But since I'm right here, in his whole entire neighborhood, his granny stayed 3 blocks. He used to go to school over there, and his pictures on, the walls and the banks and the liquor stores and the every restaurants, paintings and murals and stuff. So I'm in the vortex of the whole Nipsey thing, and knew how to deal with death from Oakland because there was so much celebrity and non-celebrity murder going on in Oakland when we was back there.
Right.
Felix Mitchell being the biggest celebrity to have the biggest funeral ever in Oakland
Right.
that we had ever seen. So I think that that's all the stuff that keeps me grounded, though. People be like, how do you stay so grounded? I'm like, first of all, I got 7 brothers and sisters who get excited from me what I do, but they really don't give a shit at the end of the day. We still need
Right.
brothers and sisters. They don't care. And also the people that I hang around that where I'm from, from Oakland and over in the district, you just don't survive trying to be all brand new or hainty or, stuck up or anything like that. You asking to get fucked up. That's just the code of the area. You need to be cool and friendly and wave to people and say hi and have everybody like you. Then they'll protect you. So I
Right.
just stay grounded because hell, I could go up if it had not been for the COVID. The premiere that we had yesterday for Coming to America would not have been virtual. It would have been in person. We might would have had lions and tigers and elephants. Ain't no telling what would have happened. But I still do that and have to leave there and come back down here to the district, pull out the latches, pull out the clothes. And the next day, after being in all that vortex the night before, the next day I'm still back to folding clothes or rolling out the garbage can or whatever the hell got to go
Yeah.
on.
Like I told you earlier, I was doing dishes when we was talking.
You goddamn right you doing some dishes.
Yeah. Well,
Even freaks of the industry have to do dishes.
Yeah, I just do them in a sexy way.
Okay then. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, look at Tati's. She's smiling. Um, No, you. So, and I've said many times because you mentioned that you don't believe that you've ever met Pop, but when Nipsey passed, that was the that feeling was the closest for me to when Pop passed.
Absolutely.
I've had that same type of
Absolutely.
feel in my gut when that happened.
Absolutely.
And so, I always say that, obviously Pac said that, um, he may not change the world, but he's going to spark the mind that changes the
That
world,
that
right?
that phrase that he used, well, there's
Yeah.
two. That one that he used, I think he lit the fuse, for Nip. And then Nip made light the fuse for another young brother coming along that can
And
really,
that's what I was about to say,
yeah.
because it might not be in our lifetime, but I think we saw, you know, what Pac was saying come to fruition through him, because a lot of people don't know Pac, he had plans to start businesses and clothing store and things like that, but it never came to fruition because he didn't make it that far. And Nipsey took it one or two or three steps further. So I believe that when the next one comes that's inspired like that, we'll take it a few steps further.